Previously on FIA Formula 2, in the sprint race yesterday, it was all-out drama. Cars left, right and centre, with Richard Verschoor claiming victory on the road, but a 5-second time penalty for a post-race change everywhere. Welcome to the FIA Formula 2 feature race here in Saudi Arabia. The atmosphere is building, the tension is rising, and certainly nobody has any idea what we're going to expect as the sun begins to set here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. We have 28 laps ahead of us and 1 hour to decide who is going to be victorious around this 6.174 kilometre circuit. Action zones, well, this is going to be a plentiful fun. We are all set for what is going to be, hopefully, the race of the season. Well, I'm Joshua Birch, and alongside me in the commentary box is Omi, with JT and Jess Ball down in the pit lane as well. JT is co-streaming the 6 hours of Imola, so make sure you go and co-watch us. Omi's up here in the comms box with me, stayed in from the adventure with Jess Ball into F1 Academy. Omi, here we go then, feature race time. There's going to be a lot of interesting run.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's time for the Formula 2 feature race, our second feature race of the year as well. And we have Bruno Michel, Susie Wolf watching on. Bruno Michel was out there yesterday with Susie Wolf watching the F1 Academy. Now roles are reversed, as well as Bruno Michel's series runs on with America's Jack Crawford starting on pole position. And it's going to be a really interesting run down to the first corner up against Martins, who so far this year hasn't been able to get off the line well in any of the races.
Yep, and don't forget as well, we had it yesterday with several drivers getting disqualified. Post-race penalties galore have changed things. Just give us a few examples of what's different and who changed around after yesterday. A new winner, of course.
Yeah, so John Bennett, of course, found himself all the way at the back of the field due to the safety car, him going through the start-finish line when they were all supposed to go to the pit lane. So that was one of the examples. Miata was also given a penalty for different reasoning. And then we had 15 drivers all earning warnings due to activating the DRS on the opening lap as well. There were some drivers who got a reprimand in that. There were some drivers who got warnings. So quite a bit of difference in there. But I'm going to quickly run you through the starting grid. We have Shields alongside Bennett, who will go for 22nd position. Shields is in 21st, JB. And where do the rest of them line up on the grid?
Rafael Gomez starts in 20th with Max Esterson in 19th place. And running on with 18th with Joshua Durskin and Sebastian Montoya in 17th. 16th on the grid, well, that goes to Rito Miata alongside Sami Megatunov. Same as really we saw yesterday, of course, with the sprint and feature having the same back half of the grid. Cordial starts in 14th alongside Roman Stanek in 13th. 12th for Dino Boganovic, Kushmaini goes 11th, and this is where the start really begins to change as well, because it is going to be Ollie Goethe in 10th with Richard Verschoor starting in 9th. 8th on the grid, that goes to Gabriel Mini alongside Jose Maria Marti. Alexander Dune goes 6th alongside Arvid Lindblad, who's finished in P5, and then Alexander Dune in P6. Browning P4, Leonardo Folorelli P3, front row Victor Martins and Jack Crawford on pole position. I mean, we're going to be for an interesting race, but Arvid Lindblad yesterday getting the race win on the, after the penalty for Richard Verschoor. His first ever win, the youngest ever in Formula 2 now.
Yep, absolutely. The record that previously belonged to Teo Pourchaire broken yesterday with an incredible performance from Arvid Lindblad, getting it when it came down to penalties, and he was able to live that moment properly, and also a great moment as well when it comes to getting that win due to his connections with Red Bull, and then, of course, the Racing Bull connection possibly next year in Formula 1 with him driving for them. That is a possibility that continues to go on. A quick little update, of course, a reminder that when drivers are given penalties for qualifying and practice, or any sort of penalties, they get applied for both races in the weekend this year. That's why Roman Stanek finds himself 3 places downwards once again, like he did yesterday.
Yeah, and just in case anybody wonders if I've become part of the Red Bull program, no, this is a birthday present that I've been given today, so I'm wearing it on the end. It makes me feel like Dr. Helmut Marko as well, so I'm going to start slagging off all of the drivers and demoting them as well as I see fit, and not promoting Yuki Tsunoda quickly enough up the field as well. To be honest with you, I think it's the Helmut Marko special. Let's hear that from our top.
So it feels good, first of all. But yeah, we were really strong in free practice, one of the strongest, I think. And I made a mistake on my last lap in free practice, and so we didn't really get to show the pace. And first run of qualifying, I'll be honest, we struggled, and I was a bit worried. I was gonna be happy with a P10, P9. I felt like that's where we were after the first run. And then, yeah, all of a sudden I go across the line, and I see my name P1. I improved 1.4 seconds between my first run and my second run. And yeah, so I guess we made all the right changes in between the first 2 runs to make the car in the right place.
Pole sitter Jack Crawford there, Omi. The right runs, the right time, the right places, just like we like to see.
Yeah, he went from 18th on the leaderboard all the way to 1st with his final run in qualifying. That's basically Formula 2 stuff for you as well when it comes to the ending of qualifying. A reigning Formula 3 champion Leonardo Fornaroli starting in 3rd position. It will be interesting to see how he handles this today. Of course, overtaken by Alexton in the early stages 1 week ago in the feature race. And then, of course, at the end of it, Alexton was the winner after the strategy phase. So now we're looking to see who's going to be our winner when it comes to our feature contest, which will, of course, run to 28 laps as they make their way out of the final corner and get themselves onto their grid slots in a couple of moments' time.
Gearing up then for the start procedure. Let's check in with our pit reporter, Jess Ball and JT. Jess, starting with you. What are you looking forward to ahead of Formula 2's race today?
I'm hoping for some clean racing, and hopefully we don't get any ridiculous penalties. I'm expecting a lot of climbs up the order.
JT, what about you? I know you don't cover F2 that much, but you're here, there and everywhere. How are you doing, my friend?
Well, he might be everywhere, but he's not in this call.
Oh,
I can tell you that.
Okay. I can't see he's in the Discord call.
Yeah. I hope Crawford's voice is okay. He had like 4 voice cracks in his interview.
I hope mine's going to make it throughout the day as well. So I see my nephew standing at the side of the screen, is he? Oh no, he's in the garden. So, all set then, ready to go. Last time I saw him, he was making some Rice Krispie cakes. Happy Easter to everybody who celebrates it. Hopefully we're going to have a fine race day ahead of us as we will look to the lights. The F2 feature race. 5 lights. 3, 4, 5. Lights out, we're underway in Saudi Arabia with a good start from Jack Crawford. He'll come across the inside line to Victor Martins. Down to turn 1, Martins trying to go around the outside. Hasn't worked. Coming in defensively, Leonardo Fornaroli around the outside as well. Now comes Luke Browning trying to have a go on Arvid Lindblad. Lindblad's going to hold that outside line. Down towards turn number 4. But it is Crawford leading for Martins. Gabriel Mini looking to the inside line. Several drivers, including Lindblad, cutting the inside line at turn 4. Mini's on the outside, going to get forced out. The 2 Red Bull livery drivers side by side through the middle half of the sector as well. Dune moving up as well into a couple of places, and Lindblad I think down to 6th position, Omi.
Absolutely brilliant getaway from Jack Crawford, exactly what the American driver wanted. As he gets to turn number 13, still in the lead, Victor Martins hangs on to 2nd place, exactly what he wanted as well after his disappointment 1 week ago, after fading so many positions, having started on the front row. They're all navigating their way through now. The middle part of the lap, both campuses of Marty and Lindblad close together right now.
Track temperature up to 51.1 now, 50 is fluctuating already. Crawford leads Martins, Fornaroli, Browning, Dune, and then coming in as well, Lindblad, Jose Marti, Gabriel Mini in 8th position. Vashore and Stanak round out the points, and already the slipstream battle is becoming, as I've lost Omen on my monitor, there he is, as well. The slipstream battle comes together as it's going to be saving tyres for this first stint. Who's starting on ultra soft, who's starting on medium, and then just taking that as long as you can into this race. We know that the ultra soft tyre degrades about 7 laps into this stint, so we're expecting pit stops around about lap 8. You can see the fuel loads are so high coming into the breakers up at turn 27 already. Lap 1 complete then, 28 to go.
Stanek trying to pass Richard Vashore further back. Meanwhile, Pepe Marti's all over the back of his teammate. He mentioned he was disappointed to lose out to Lindblad yesterday because it was for the win. Let's see whether we can get it on the circuit today, down into turn 1.
On the outside, that's a tricky braking part as well. Can they get it through? The touching little bit. DRS has been enabled. Lindblad going to have to back out of it. Marty goes ahead, and here comes Gabriel Mini to the inside, trying to sneak away through. Can't find one as they come through. 4, 5, then 6, 7, and 8 come on together as well through the S's bend of the first sector. Over 60 seconds you spent here. It's a long sector for Formula 2 cars, but still 40.4 for first sector for Crawford. I stand corrected.
Yep, not your Formula 1 flat out absolutely everywhere. A lot more work for these drivers to do through that part of the lap, with downshifts and braking as well. Vitomo Miato under a little bit of pressure further back as Montoya tries to have a look, and he was trying to get to the inside of turn number 13, and I think that was Miata slightly wide, opening up the steering wheel just to leave the space in case Montoya was coming to try and make the move, but they're still all in single file, and now the drag reduction system will open, which is going to give Victor Martins exactly what he needs as he tries to attack and pressure our race leader, which is Jack Crawford.
Every single driver in the field has DRS on the other, so this is going to be a long line to sweep them in. The gap between Crawford and Shields, 9.4 seconds. So they've got 7, 10, 6, 8, 9s, 8, 3s, 5, 5, 4, 6. They are so close together. Some on ultra softs, some on mediums. The pit stops are going to be a vital factor today as we take a look now at Richard Vashore as well. Under a minute, he's trying to attack Gabriel Mini, but behind Stanak and Mani there as diving up the inside. Rito Miata gets ahead of Sebastian Montoya, who immediately tries to cut back to the inside line with the DRS on the main straight as we complete lap 2, starting lap 3.
Absolutely, the switchback can be quite powerful as well. Let's take a look whether, let's see whether we are going to go 3 wide as well as Cordial makes it 3 wide momentarily. Montoya is past Miata.
Good stuff for Montoya, using that DRS to the advantage. You won't have that now until the second sector, turn 17 at the exit. That is where you get the detection zone. You can't activate until turn 22. As we see a replay at the start, everyone, the lights went out.
Yep, absolutely. Martins got away well. Crawford had enough to cut across, and it was all fine for the drivers at the front of the field, and they all managed to get through without any yellow flags. Momentarily some 4 wide going on as well, as we had Joshua Dirksen trying to navigate his way through. They all managed to get through very, very cleanly indeed, the top 3 as they left the line. But then this is when it got interesting, as Lindblad got pushed slightly wide from Luke Browning, and then that opened the door for some other drivers as Lindblad also was passed momentarily. Let's everyone start it.
This is how we do it in second property, mate. Good job, mate.
Bruno Circuit would certainly like a repave. Oh, Marty caught those lights perfectly, moved up on the inside, and then as you say, we're going to see an instant now with Lindblad trying to take an exit road at turn 4. That just doesn't exist.
Yeah, so Luke Browning takes the wide line, and there was very nearly contact as well as Browning got on the power, and then it's going to be Dunn fighting away with Martin. Lindblad would keep it footed, and then that's what happened at turn number 4. Now, I mentioned Dirksen was trying to make the move as well. This was a 4 wide moment momentarily down into the braking zone. He was dive bombing Cordial at this point, and he was super late to the brakes, keeping his foot in, and was he able to make his way through all of these corners with ease. It looks like he was able to get the power down, so worked out for Dirksen there.
So over the line then, it's starting lap 4. Again, I think we just saw Browning have a little look on fall away. Nothing going on there. Is Mini can have a go at Lindblad to 1? No, so status quo. Just keeping this race together now. Do you know what I find surprising as well at the moment? That we're still on 7,997 subscribers. That's a surprise, because we only need 3 to 8,000 and it's been stuck all day, and we've covered multiple events already. So, a bit bizarre. As we come through, Arvid Lindblad closing on Gabriel Mini closing on Arvid Lindblad in the world at the moment. Marty's now 1 second back. Omi already in just a lap. You can see the gaps have changed. We've got 2 seconds as well between Fulleroni and Martins. 1.1 separating Crawford, so he's broken DRS. Immediately, those on ultras lifted off, backing up, and mediums following suit.
Yeah, absolutely the case. 1.3 seconds between our top two then. At this stage of our contest, Crawford with the fastest lap, being able to pull up higher up the road and outside the 1 second, which is the crucial thing. Same applies to Leonardo Fornaroli, which means that Luke Browning is going to be getting a great run, and he's going to be really applying the pressure in a couple of moments time when we do head down towards number 27, and a big lockup for Fornaroli, all out of shape.
Yeah, Rhea came through as well. It stepped up. That's going to give a huge advantage now to Luke Browning. Will have the DRS at the exit of turn 22 down towards the back straight at 27. He's reeling him in, but is this really the opportunity you want to go for? Because the activation zone and detection is at the exit of turn 27. 3 different detection and activation zones, which means it plays with you as to where you want to be on the circuit. DRS chicken, they call it. Browning has the inside line, goes for Laroli to defend. Browning extends it around the outside, can't get enough traction. That moving under braking, so effective into that first corner, but Laroli, I think, has got away with that mistake.
I didn't really see Browning opening the DRS throughout as well, especially down towards turn number 22, which he should have had it, and then also the run towards turn 1. So I wonder if it's not been enabled yet, or is it just an issue for Browning?
I wonder if at the detection point, detection points on entrance to turn 22, and that's where the mistake was made. So that's where he should have had it, because detection zone 1 is at turn 17, activation 1 is at turn 19, detection 2 is in the braking zone for turn 22 and 23, where we saw that mistake from Fornaroli, and then activation is on the back straight towards in the middle of turn 24, turn 25. So it should have really been an option for him. I don't know why it wasn't, unless Browning's forgot to activate the DRS, but he's going to have it this time around, certainly.
Yeah, let's see then. It would be great to see. The closing speed wasn't too much either. You should have it around this part of the circuit as well in a couple of moments. There we go.
Yeah.
And we'll have to get a view as well and see.
Yeah, it was just an off-board angle. On the rear, still sliding out for Leonardo, and he's off the circuit. Browning's going to have such a sweet run. He won't even need the DRS. Again, that rear of the Invictus does not look stable. Browning, remember, on the ultra-soft tyre, so he's going to have to save them. Don't go in dirty air too much and overheat the fronts. And again, Omi, it's DRS chicken. And that just allows Fornaroli to sort of get the traction back. He's actually leading Alexander Doon to come back into it. Here we go, then this should be the move.
Yep, it is open now, and that should mean he can go down the outside. It should be done before the first turn, and that will be nice and easy stuff for Luke Browning, who's able to move through. Here comes Doon!
Sensing an opportunity and sending it through on the inside. Nicely done from Alexander Doon, who's on those soft compact tyres. Mediums at this time then do not have the option to attack back. Leonardo's still all over the back, but it's the soft compound, which is this weekend the ultra soft purple tyre, which is quicker at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. So, really interesting stuff then. Alex Dunn, who definitely saw that one coming with a late lunge, wasn't as wild as he was in the sprint race 1 week ago. So that was nice to see. And then we just take a look once again at Fornaroli. 2 laps in a row, he was wide at turn number 22 on the exit.
Yeah, looks like he's just catching the rear curve as well. Let's bring Jess in, who has experience in esports riding here as well, to see Browning's on the outside move. Jess, how tricky is turn 22-23 when you're going so quick? You've esported in both F1 and F2 cars. Just explain how the rear brakes suffer through that section of the circuit.
It is very tricky, especially in F2 cars, because you got to pick your braking point quickly, and you just splashed up in an instant. So you got to think about the turning really early on and really understand your references before you head to that corner, because otherwise you're going to miss your corner. We had a few people that had problems in F1 Academy as well. We saw one of the drivers running wide there. So yeah, it's proved an issue for some of the drivers, and it could be an issue with any car.
Thanks, Jess. Kushmani now on the back, going to have an attack pulling around the outside. Oh, goes defensive. No, Mini's in there too. Side bomb and a half. My goodness me. Maney sends it on the inside of Stanak. Stanak was trying to have a go at Gabriel Mini, and it's all exploded as cars diving down in towards the pit lane. Marty's in. Gabriel Mini's in. Return Miata's dived in. Side by side for the front. Follow-Rolly's coming to the pit lane as well, it says on my timing screen. So they're all diving in on lap 7 exactly as we saw last year, Omi. These dodge stuff's not working, and almost flying into the back. Was coming in for Jose Maria Marti into the back of Follow-Rolly.
Yep, absolutely. It is action stuff down in the Formula 2 pit lane as Follow-Rolly gets released. Here's Pepe Marti.
Problem on the front right. Problem on the front right. Is that even connected? Yeah, but a long stop there. Now that's going to put Gabriel Mini coming out of 2. So Marty with an issue on the front right tyre as they all come out the pit lane. Crawford leads from Martens, Browning, Dune, Lindblad, Vershaw. At the moment, that's your top 5. And I'm missing someone from that because who's come in? That's not the same top 5 I'm reading on my monitor. Who's missing from that one? I think it might have been an error. Watch this again. So, opportunistic from Kushmini.
Yep, dive bomb and a half there. Then up against Mini as well coming in. And, well, the tyre graphic that we saw earlier on the screen was quite glitched at the same time.
That's the 24. That's John Bennett, who's got front wing. Oh, and it's exploded on the stuff. Well, we might need a safety car here. We've got a wing damage on the entrance to the pit lane. So we should really have a safety car for that. Pit lane closed. So John Bennett, who's now left the pit lane, has whacked into the back of someone into turn 27. We've got debris all over the road. Pit entry is closed. Pit entry is closed. But Jack Crawford's coming in. And so is Victor Martins. But the pit entry is closed. Well, this is ludicrous. They've closed the pit entry because I saw the light panel with the red X going through it, the white box. So the pit entry is closed. All these drivers coming in now could be under investigation for breaching the rules.
Well, here we go. The chaos in the pit lane continues then as everyone makes their way through Alex Dunn, changing tyres. Further back with Roden Motorsport, he'll try and get back out there. And it's going to now be Lindblad, who also gets in to change his tyres. And further back also Montoya in as well. So plenty of pit stops going on. And this is absolutely wild stuff.
Yeah, the pit entry light's gone green, but I swear the entry is closed. But where's the safety car? We've got debris on the circuit, on the entry to the pit lane, massive shards of carbon fibre. This needs to be at least a virtual or a full safety car ASAP. If a tyre fails there, it's a one-way ticket to a huge accident. Megatuniv's come in now as well.
It's a long straight where you are going to see the drivers pushing on hard. You don't want to see any cars losing it in a big way due to a tyre failure as well, due to the debris as Crawford tries to warm up the tyres. No tyre blankets, of course, in FIA Formula 2, meaning you've got to do all of the work on this outlap, and that applies to all of the drivers who have just changed their tyres.
This should be a safety car. I can't believe it's not. It is ridiculous. Victor Martins now leads this race. He's on the ultra soft compound, the purple walled Pirelli tyre. He should box this lap. Maximum they can go is 8 laps. And that is Sami Megatuniv with damage on his front left tyres not connected. Engine's off too. Martins into the pit lane. Oh, I can't believe they haven't thrown the safety car for that, to be fair, with debris everywhere.
Yeah, we had that in Formula 1 last time where they had to throw it due to the debris on the circuit. We've got debris here on a street circuit that's blocking most of the way, and absolutely not. They're deciding to continue this one on.
I don't know who the race director thinks they are right now, but this should really be neutralised quite quickly, and to get the A, car safe, B, team safe. It's 3 wide already further back coming into it. Trying to see who that is. We've got an Invictus involved in that as well. So I think that's Browning, Dune and Follow-Rolly in a battle over 11th position just at the exit. That is Victor Martins getting overtaken by Jack Crawford. So Crawford, correction.
Martins has got through.
Martins got through, yeah. Sorry, timing buff was the wrong way round. So Martins got ahead of Crawford then, but Crawford's got tyres up to temperature. So the overcuts worked a little bit. That was just the chaos in the pit lane on entry. But now we've got a virtual safety car. Well, that was nicely timed. Virtual safety car deployed, but really, that should have come out a long time ago.
Yeah, it does. So Crawford was going for the move just there. As it came out, we were waiting to see when does it come on the world feed pictures. But Crawford, well, this is going to help Martins a lot warm up his tyres. But yeah, that's the overcut working. And Victor Martins is our net race leader as the marshals quickly go to work and try clear the Van Amersfoort front wing very quickly.
Somebody play the Benny Hill theme. But it's a quick pit lane here. 43 minutes left on the clock. Let's take a look at how it happened. This is on board with Leonardo Forlaroli in turn 1. Late on the brakes. Lock-ups ahead. Go on.
Yeah, that was Dunn who was overtaking that, and is Forlaroli just going to get past them both? Nice and easy stuff.
What's the guy doing, man?
Which I'm the on about. That was...
So Dunn and Browning, and then, yeah, so it was Browning and Dunn. So it was Browning complaining about Dunn there in the papaya colours, and Forlaroli was able to get past them both.
So dude locks up, goes straight on. He's already had the corner, comes back on, bounces over. Browning is there. Yeah, that was just racing in my book. There's no impediment deliberately. That's just following the rules.
It definitely reminds me of some of the 2021 battling that we had on one of the restarts with Verstappen rejoining the road and getting in the way as well. But works perfectly. Forlaroli not a part of it, able to just get by nice and easily. And when this virtual safety car comes back out, well, comes in and it comes to a close, then it'll be really interesting to see the restart between Crawford and Martins and how they time that, because that's where we can see sometimes drivers reacting a lot more quicker and there being some changes of positions.
Nicely put, actually, because back in 2021, Verstappen actually got a penalty for that, didn't he? On the first restart, with Esteban Ocon slipped through in similar circumstances and took the lead of the race. Panels then showing the VSC. Let's have Alexander do.
We go back to green racing. We think you need to give the position back to Browning.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with that because Verstappen got that penalty, as you pointed out, back in 2021. So, yeah. That's going to have to be a position returned, I'm afraid. Look at Martins and Crawford. Crawford's going to really jump him here quite soon. This could be a quite entertaining little push down on the throttle. When
Yeah, could be quite fun. Could be quite fun for the net race lead as well in a couple of moments' time. But yes, the stewards have been very harsh with penalties. I'm not going to spoil the F1 Academy one earlier, but there was a race deciding one in that earlier on today, then F2 yesterday. We did have it with Vashaw getting the penalty and losing the win, as we've already mentioned in the broadcast. So they've not been kind when it's come to penalties today. So you definitely don't want to get on their bad side. As the green flag's about to go back out, let's see how Jack Crawford reacts.
Virtual safety car is in 3, 2, well, we're already green, but it's gone mid-corner, so that allows Martins to have his foot down before DRS will be activated immediately following a virtual safety car. Question is, will they have remembered that? I don't think Crawford has. He has got DRS. Let's see, he'll definitely have it down towards turn number 1 though. DRS snaps open.
Yeah, the virtual safety car thing was still out when they went to the the detection point for these two. So now we should have it. There we go. And he's going to get the run to try to take the race lead.
Martins pulls to the right, now pulls to the left towards the pit wall. Crawford pulls to the outside line, goes late on the brakes. Martin's going to give him absolutely no room, but they're still together. A wonderful bit of racing between these two, giving each other the racing room that they deserve. And they're side by side into turn 4, both looking at each other, neither wanting to blink. Martin goes a little bit wide. Crawford backs out, and Martins keeps the position. Montoya passes Cordial.
What a battle for the net race lead between Martins and Crawford really went for it. But at least Crawford kept it on the road. That was nice and clean. If it was Meaning from yesterday, he would have just cut the opening chicane as well, as Dylan Browning has been noted for forcing another driver off the track.
But I don't think that will be given a penalty because they've already given that position back under racing conditions. So Dune has repaid that. Has he? Yes, he has. Yeah, he's down to 13th. Browning's already back to 12. So they've repaid that. The stewards are usually more lenient, aren't they, Omi, if you repay it on the circuit before they have to get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. So they've mainly noted it for forcing another driver off the track. So we'll see whether it's different. Because if it is, then of course they both lost out to Fornaroli, so they may also consider that in because they're specifically investigating forcing another driver off the track.
Right.
So that might not be anything to do, unfortunately, with him letting him through. So he may have let him through for no reason, basically.
That is possible, yeah. We might get at least, I would say, a 5-second time penalty. Look at this again. Crawford's got DRS on the inside line down to turn 27. Backs out of it. Yep, DRS chicken. He's practically pushing Martins around that last corner as well. Push foot to the floor. DRS will come open. Now, which way would you go here, Omi? Which, left or right? Pit wall or outside?
Well, I don't think Martins will let him go to the inside. He'll have to be round the outside.
He's got him. Nicely done from Crawford into turn 1. He's up to P9 already. That was nice.
Brilliant. Yeah, nice little battling. He couldn't do this. Victor Martins couldn't do too much this lap around. Last lap he gave all of his defense. This time Crawford was just too far ahead when it came to the braking zone. He wasn't even a car length alongside or anything to be able to go for that one. So nice and fair stuff from Martins. Only thing he can do now is regroup, try to stick with Jack Crawford, or Jack Crawford will be pulling away as he tries to go for another win in the FIA Formula 2 Championship, as we ride on board with Pepe Marti now on the back of Alex Dillon.
Sammy Megatunov has officially retired from this race. Whatever suspension problem he was suffering with on the front left side, I should say, has become terminal. John Bennett has now come into the pit lane as well. So, lap 12 of 28, for sure leads by 1.9 seconds, but the top 8 have yet to stop in this race. Just remember that back home.
We do need to indeed, considering we have the brilliant battle that went on between Crawford and Martins. That was for the net lead. The other drivers will not play a factor unless they can get involved right at the end of the contest. We're reaching half race distance soon. This battle between Dunn is going to be interesting with Browning. Well, these two have a little bit of history from earlier on, don't they?
Indeed they do. And now it's time for take 2 as they come through turns 23 and 24 down that back stretch then towards the kink at 5. I say back straight, it's more of a curved straight as well, but DRS can't be enabled on it because you're going flat out, not that big of a change of direction as you have down, say, at turn 1 Suzuka. Inside line, Dune doesn't know he's there. Marty's going to send him back through and takes over 13th position. But Dune's got the cut back and a little bit wide there as well, actually. Coming through for Browning. Dune's got the slipstream with that DRS. Browning's trying to break that toe. Coming in as well, Gabriel Mini. He's going to be hoovering up to the inside line. Is he close enough for a little bit of a look on the inside? No. Dune can't retake Marty. Marty stays into 13th.
Yeah, that actually went terribly for Dunn. He had the pace to pass at turn number 27. He couldn't pass, however, because he wanted the DRS of Luke Browning. But Marty was going to get DRS either way, whether he was ahead or behind. So he could easily send it up the inside. So Dunn will be frustrated with that one. But he had to sit behind to make sure that he had the DRS. Let's look at it again. So Dunn can't make the move. And then Marty can just dive bomb because he's going to get DRS anyway, even if he overtakes Dunn. And that was nice and tidy stuff out of the final corner.
Yeah, DRS detection line is at the exit of turn 27. Appropriately, it's on the exit as well. Can't tell you how much before. It doesn't tell me on the actual DRS train. Activation number 3, I can tell you, however, is 240 metres after turn 7. So that's why, as you say, I mean, they can sacrifice DRS if they're in a train, because you're going to get it from the car in front anyway. So clever bit of gambit there. I wonder if Marty will do that same trick to Browning, because considering that Browning's got no one in front of him. But Browning's so slow on the straights. He is weaving left and right to try and break said toe. And look how much they're already gaining in turn 22 and 23. Now they're going to have DRS for the second activation spot on this circuit.
Yeah, Formula 2 racing around the circuit, always quite chaotic due to the DRS and the 3 DRS zones that you get back to back to back. And you can see they're all closing in. Browning going for that wide line once again. Dunn won't be there to capitalise, so this is going to go down to turn number 1 as Marty will try and get past Luke Browning.
Yeah, so DRS will be open now. We're on board with Luke Browning looking back to Jose Maria Marti. The gap was 4 tenths, now 3 tenths. Closing, closing and closing. Dune's in the DRS toe as well. Browning having to go defensive. Marty's going to send it on the inside. Browning's got no choice but to go wide off the track because Marty was there on the inside line and Crawford was carrying too much speed into that braking zone. I wonder if the stewards will deem that as gaining an advantage.
Yep, absolutely. The stewards possibly could. We'll have to take a look back at that one once again then. But Pepe Marti still stuck in behind in this train. Dunn and Mini just watching, and they'll also soon be joined by our winner from yesterday, Arvid Lindblad, is joining the party. Let's take a look at a replay then of Marti tucking in the slipstream, and then he's going to go for the dive bomb, and this is going to be the interesting one with Luke Browning.
Did Marty go in too late there into the braking zone?
Yeah, come on, he was never making the corner. Never making the corner of him.
Yeah, but he only couldn't make the corner because you put the car there so deep into the braking zone. I mean, how do you read that one? Is that Browning going too deep and not braking himself, or was that Marty playing dirty?
Could be quite a bit of both, to be fair. Marty was able to keep it on the road, which is also one of the things that the FIA do look for. So it's going to be interesting to see how they read that one. But yes, it's getting quite feisty now between Marty and Browning, and then also Dunn waiting in behind. And as we mentioned, Gabriele Mini just waiting for his chance. So it's a very interesting train, but it's a feisty train, as all of these drivers aren't really happy with each other.
DRS active for, as we see in the back here, so coming for Jose, Maria Marti, Alexander Dunes, not going to go to Gabriel Mini now, still closing in. Don't forget, this is the battle for 12, 13, 14, but in the positions on the circuit, it's vital points in the World Championship as Dune now, again, losing out as he tries to wheel in Marty. Is Marty this time going to commit to the inside line eventually? Browning's blocked off the centre line. Marty's going to try the outside. That's going to give him the inside line to turn 2. He's forced off the track. Well, I don't know if that was on for Marty because he's given the place back to Browning, but Marty there's now going to defend against Dune, who's lifted off as well. Respectful from him not to cause a contact, but Marty chose that outside line. But he had both lanes to choose from. Browning only put the car in the centre. Marty chose that outside line, and well, did Browning give him enough space? I didn't see the off-board angle because we were looking at the rear roll hoop camera.
Yep, absolutely. That's exactly what we were looking for to see, and we're going to get it. Perfect time.
That's nicely done. So what do you reckon?
So sends it down the outside, tries to get it to the inside, and then Browning's going to take it right to the apex. Marty has to cut over.
Marty's enough alongside to be granted space there. But there was a slide. It wasn't a deliberate from Crawford to force him off the track there.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be... I think they might just let that run, considering I don't think Mini got any penalties for anything yesterday, considering he just kept going over the road. So I think as they're back in order, they might let that one off, but it'll be interesting to see as well as they come over the line. We take a look at some of our leaders out on the actual circuit, on the strategy-wise, and then Crawford gets past Shields. So now this is when it gets interesting. You have Crawford coming up to Shields now, and the rest of them have to also get past a bit of lap traffic now.
That's great for Crawford.
Strategy traffic, rather.
That's great for Crawford, though, isn't it? Because that's going to give him a bit of a breathing room. Yes, it does it? We're on board now with Browning to Marty behind once again. Here we go, attempt number 3. It doesn't take long around this lap, does it? That came up quite quick, actually. As well as they fly down. Marty to the outside at 1. He likes this outside move. He can get it done. Dude on the inside. Browning went defensive. There's going to be contact there. They're not careful. Yeah, Browning has to cut off the circuit, but Marty's right there. Has to lift off. Dune senses an opportunity, still can't get through. Well, that got messy quick, and here comes Gabriel Mini.
Yeah, I think this one could be a bit more of an issue as well, considering it was actually Dunn he was battling with into the braking zone at that stage, but Dunn really going for it, and yes, it does come around quite quickly, considering we have a lot of controversy to go over when it comes to the replays. We have the action, then we get to the replays, and then we end up all the way back at turn number 22. Let's look at it again.
So, Marty gets on the outside. Browning doesn't have enough time to react to Dune cutting back on the inside line. They wheel bang a little bit. Dune doesn't give Browning enough room on the exit the same way Browning didn't give Marty enough room. Marty has to lift off because all of a sudden at the exit of 2 he sees Browning cutting the corner, and then that just brings Mini into the mix. So that's a stupid bit of... yeah, that's also brought Lindblad back into it.
Yeah, it has. So Lindblad's going to go on the run. Victor Martin's got past Shields as well, so that's the lap traffic being cleared as well. Coming in there as we see Victor Martins just 1.2 seconds away from Crawford. That's our next 2 leaders when it comes to this race contest as Dunn goes over the road.
Yeah, just outbrakes himself. That's going to lose him DRS traction as well on the back straight. This is going to be advantage for Gabriel Mini. If he's feeling brave, he can go for that overtake because he doesn't need to worry about losing DRS. But he's too far back into that braking zone. They're all stretched out. Oh, and Ollie Goethe in 4th, trying to go with Roman Stanek. Tyres starting to go off then if you're mediums. Stanek goes wide. Medium tyres look DEAD.
They absolutely do at this stage. Goethe just pressuring Stanek as you mentioned, and they've both now lost touch with Main, who's trying to get outside the 1 second, and it's Vishal who's actually leading this group by an absolute mile, 5.2 seconds by Formula 2 standards as well. So doing quite well. Let's hear from Goethe.
Stanek went off coming to defend this position.
Oh, okay. So presume Goethe was on the inside and yeah, Stanek went wide at 4. It's not usually an opportunity to overtake there.
Yeah, we go back to this train that goes on for a net 4th position in this contest, and we get down to turn number 13. The gap's right now 7 tenths between Marty and Luke Browning, and then a further 6 tenths to Dunn. So they're starting to spread out a little bit, but they're still inside the 1 second. They still get the advantage through the DRS zones later on in this lap, which they'll be coming up to in a couple of moments' time. Even if we don't see any action at the front of the train, Lindblad will want to try and get past Gabriele Mini as quick as possible as we make our way then back onto the DRS straights.
Open they come at the back half then. As I said, turn number 17 all the way to 27. That's your DRS zones with various activation and deactivations. This is Goethe now, having got on the inside of Stanek in towards turn 1. That's coming from way back. Respect to Stanek for giving Goethe some space if he came alongside, but that's just going to compromise it now through the S's section. Goethe pulls to the outside line, can't do it, backs off, holds that inside line, brings up again with said power. It's just a bit better now. And here comes that train again down to turn 1 from Marty back with there. And they're all starting to separate now. Not tyres going off, but we tend to go. Well, 11 really. They're struggling.
Yeah, you don't want to be battling too hard and lose time, considering now is the phase where you're going to start seeing the drivers on the alternative strategy make their pit stops. You don't want to be getting passed by Richard Vishaw or any of those drivers in the final stages. That's absolutely not what you want. And actually, Richard Vishaw going quicker than Jack Crawford across the last few laps as well. And that is first place on the road compared to our net race leader. So Vishaw really going out there quite nicely at this stage.
Yeah, for sure. Ion Thomas involving Dune and Browning is under investigation for forcing another driver off the track. We haven't had any message flash up from previous instances that are under investigation yet. We'll try and keep those updated to you when we have them. But yeah, Richard Vishaw, who led and won on the road yesterday before Arvid Lindblad took over that 5-second time punch that Richard got, now leads by 6.1 seconds. If there's a safety car or anything, it's advantage him in this race. Anything can happen in Jeddah in Formula 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that is the case. And Vishaw got it for basically pushing Marty just a little bit wide. But it's basically the hard racing that we're seeing right now today. So it was quite an unfair penalty. I think Alex Bundle also didn't read it too correctly when it came to his Goethe's getting past Roman Stanek, or is he?
Stanek's going to go deep. Goethe couldn't get that move done on the outside. It's a black and white flag for Luke Browning for track limits now, has flashed up on our monitors. So Browning, who's running in that 13th position, has gone off the track too many times. Stewart's now giving that a black and white flag. For the road, he gets ahead now as well of Clan Shields. Those tyres that haven't stopped yet, what was now top 8 with Clan Shields in 10th, need to stop. Well, 11th now.
Yes, absolutely. The top 11 excluding Crawford, Martins and Leonardo Fornaroli, they are your top 3 in this race as of yet. But Vishaw, as we mentioned, running quite nicely at the front. And could he get some redemption, at least with a bit of a podium as we now look to the MP Motorsport driver. And the great thing he's done is, no matter what strategy you're on, if you can just be ahead of all of the other drivers by a good distance that are on the same strategy, then it can work out quite nicely.
What's that old phrase? Cautiously, wildly accelerating.
Yep, exactly what he's doing. You lose about 30 seconds when it comes to a pit stop, so it would mean that he's around 5 seconds off Crawford.
Yeah, I was going to thank you for that, because look, Dune, 5-second time penalty for forcing another driver off the track. So Alexander Dune's running in 14th, will get that penalty. Richard Vishaw, however, gap 30 seconds for a pit stop. Is he coming in? No, he's not. But right now, across that line, 30 seconds average would put him behind Fornaroli, but ahead of Marty. So still
with some good tyres at the end and a bit of a long circuit, he'll try go on the charge. Could it be an action-packed end to this one as we take a look further back and see whether Stanek can get past?
Yeah, Goethe's back on the inside line and he's got him into turn 1 on the outside, so Goethe's not feeling as confident as we thought. For sure though, tyres seem fine. Banging in another fastest lap on a 1:46.967, and now on the inside line of 4, we're seeing Stanek become a bit aggressive against the attacking Ollie Goethe, and that is now putting Joshua Durdskin, who's in 5th place, very much into the mix as well, with 9 to go here in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like the position that Dun gave back on the earlier on the after the virtual safety car, well, that was for nothing because he still got the time penalty as we mentioned. So yeah, he thought he would be able to avoid it, but what they noted, as I mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, was the forcing off the track rather than passing as well off the circuit. So that's the difference that there was there, and well, it's really turning into a good Grand Prix Sunday. With Formula 1 qualifying yesterday, I'm really looking forward to the Grand Prix to see how that's going to go. It's actually going to be quite a lot of fun.
Oh, same here. I can't wait. It's going to be a great Saudi Arabian Grand Prix weekend as well, with Max Verstappen starting on pole position for the 42nd time. That is coming just after you've all eaten your Easter Sunday lunch. At 6 o'clock we go lights out. 5 o'clock we're on air. Jess Ball in the host seat. Me, Megan, JT and Omi in the pits, with Jess up in the box as well, all set for this one ahead of round 5 of the season. Unless Jess goes down pit lane because she's also hosting. I don't want to overuse it this weekend. We'll see how that goes. Into the pit lane though has come Ollie Goethe, Omi, so his tyres are done.
Yep, his tyres are done. He's going to be the first one from this alternative strategy group to bolt, and into the pit lane he comes, and it'll be interesting to see where he's going to rejoin compared to all of the other drivers as well.
So, keep it calm. It'll be the Ultra Softs for 7 laps. They can be doable. That's the average life stint here, like we saw last year. And it's a brand new set as well. Only done, I presume, a shakedown run to the grid. So, they're going to have a lot of grip on me. And he's the first one to really jump to the top.
Yep, absolutely. That's exactly the case, as he's going to come out then right onto this circuit. He'll be near Montoya, but Montoya will be able possibly to get to the apex first, just about.
Yeah, Montoya stays out ahead then. And that's going to pop him down into 17th place as things stand. What an awesome race we're experiencing here. I hope you're all liking it back at home. Oh, that was a bit slow actually. This is surprising. Ultra soft tyres, you think they'll grip it incredibly easy, but he's literally like he's on ice skates on a freshly coated patch of ice.
Yep, that is the case right now as we make our way through. Still in this train with Luke Browning getting close, but hasn't been close enough over the last few laps when we've gone through the DRS zone. So the question now becomes, will he be able to be close this time around on lap number 21 out of 28? And will he be able to try and put some pressure on and forge a way through? Let's see then. He'll be gaining all the way down towards 22 then to 27, and then hopefully he'll have the move. He'll hope down into turn 1.
You can see it sliding the way through at turn 23 and 24. DRS reactive. John Bennett's come back out the pit lane, by the way. Just to let you know, to setting a new best time, previous time for him.
Well, Shields is here now, so that's going to change this a little bit.
Oh, not more lap. It's actually he's not a lap traffic battle, is he?
Yeah.
He just hasn't stopped yet. He's still on those original mediums, locked up for Dune on the inside front right.
Absolutely. So Shields trying to break the slipstream a little bit. He's going to come into the pit lane.
No. That's going to be a big no-no. That's breaking the race director's instructions there. Coming up for Jose Miramati and Luke Browning. They were entering the fast lane of the pit lane. You're not allowed to do that. Same rule as what we see in Azerbaijan. You go over that pit lane line, you must come into the pit lane. So Omi, they're going to get a big war. They might even get a time penalty for that one, because it is against the race director's instructions, and it's effectively cheating because they're getting the toe and the DRS off the car in front. Not
we
allowed.
saw that with Jack doing it in practice.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we touched on the touchpad as well with JT setting his image. So, Omi, that's going to be a big no-no.
It will be a big no-no as well, as you mentioned. So that's going to be more work for the stewards to do. They've had a busy weekend when it's gone to Formula 2, just a little bit, with about everyone but 4 drivers under investigation yesterday as well. Oh, well, 3 actually, because Rashul was under investigation for a different reason. So nearly everyone was under investigation as well, bar like 3 drivers, and that tells you how it was yesterday. Today a little bit more calmer, but still a lot of work for them all to do.
Great stuff though for Browning. So great stuff for Dune. If Marty and Browning kept penalties, he's also got a penalty too. Gabriel Mini could get the last points paying position without having to do anything. But we've got
And
pit
Limblad
stop.
as well. It's directly in
Yeah.
behind. He will be able to just push himself and get himself in. But when Vashon and those drivers come in, that's when it gets interesting. And I think we've got Mania and we've got Stanikin as well.
Yep, so those two dive into the pit lane. That puts Joshua Durskin up into second position, but Vashon leads already. The gap between Vashon and Marty is 36 seconds. We've got 31 already to that of Forlaroli. Stanak comes in now, changes over to a New Zealand Ultra Soft, so away he goes.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
It's impressive. The gap is now 26.3. It was 25 earlier on. Vashon is still pushing on getting the gap higher. He
Yeah.
may even have a chance if he can just push out. He just set the fastest lap last time around. You'd expect those tyres to start fading away. Absolutely not. He's pushing on hard.
Yeah, it's a 1:46.801 for Richard Vashon. He is flying out here. Gap 12.4 to Joshua Durskin as well. He's got a further 12 seconds and a bit coming to Crawford, who's in fifth, as Omi pointed out. So this is now 30 seconds average loss in the pit stop. He's 4 seconds away, but that'll put him just behind, or maybe in front of Victor Martins. That's where you've got to look. This could be net second with fresh tyres and clean track. Could he actually win this?
Well, I mean, what redemption would it be? He was disqualified here 1 year ago from winning the sprint. He got a penalty yesterday,
but-
and today, well, can the FIA find any reason to take it away from him?
Jacques! What? And he's in! He is in! Richard Vashon from the race lead here in Jeddah dives into the pit lane and the clock begins. Do not screw up, MP. Oh, it's tension now, isn't it? Durskin's in too. Oh, that could cause a problem. It's a long pit road here. So Bogdanovic is going to take the lead of the race. Oh, they've practiced this, haven't they? It's pitch perfect from MP. Oh, that was beautiful stop. Where's Crawford? There he is. Martin's coming behind. Crawford gets ahead. Martin's there too. But is he going to come out just in front or side by side? How quickly can he get those 10 tyres up temperature? He's got out ahead of Victor Martins, but with that power, has he kept ahead? Yes! Oh, but can he heat the tyres up in time? That was critical. He has come out in second position. There's Vashon, there's Martins right behind, and we got Crawford back into the net lead of the race. Oh, this is it, Omi. The race is on.
The race is on. Vashon needs to warm up those tyres, stay ahead of Martins, and now needs to push on and chase down only one man who's denying him race victory at this stage. And how much would it mean to Vashon? This is incredible stuff. He's had 2 wins around the circuit taken away from him. Will he be able to get it this year? He still has to warm up those tyres and keep Victor Martins behind.
Jess, you've done a warming up of tyres in Formula 2 in esports. That's vaguely similar to how they've programmed it to what we see on the circuit. How long would it take to heat up these tyres?
A long time in F2 cars, trust me.
Oh my goodness me, and it's a long lap here, 6.174 kilometres. Let's hope he can do it and get up to speed. What isn't helping Omi is the fact that we've got a load of long straights, no heavy braking corners, that repetitively to get brakes temperatures up and therefore get tyre temperature up.
Yep, absolutely. And now you can see Vashon is starting to break away. Laps will be ticking. He's got to get this gap down to Crawford. It might even come down to the last lap. But right now he's just going to have to keep Martins behind, who has the DRS, and that's critical for his race. Can he also try and stay with Vashon at this stage?
You can see Jack Crawford just ahead. DRS will be there for Victor Martins, but he's on old mediums compared to Vashon, who's on brand new Ultra Soft, and you can visibly see Martins just can't get close enough into turn 1. He thinks about a move, but I think the tyres are now up to temperature. Barring a mistake for Richard Vashon, he's got this one. He can now try and break that toe and set off after. The gap between Crawford and Vashon is 3.4 seconds, and guess what, folks? It's closing. Every millisecond we're mentioning it, it's closing down.
Every meter that we run around these incredible corners, 27 turns, the most of any on the Formula 1 and also the Formula 2 calendar, of course. It's absolutely phenomenal to see Vashon pushing on hard, and it's going to be 3 seconds by the time that we get down to turn number 13. Every single corner, he'll be gaining with every meter that we run.
You can brake later, you can get the power on earlier, the rear doesn't slide around as much, you're going to be literally racing with just super glue attached to your tyres while everybody else is on an ice rink. That's how good these tyres feel. Durnsky's been noted for a pit lane infringement by Race Control. He's dropped down into 13th place. He's in that battle with Browning, Dune, Mini, Lindblad, and now Kush Mining. He's about a second behind that at the moment. He's got Roman Stanak under him, as well as Ollie Goethe in 14th and 15th positions. Meantime, there we see, well, this is the battle I'm talking about. This is Browning with Dune now just behind him. Dune's got this time penalty coming through anyway for him.
Yeah, absolutely. We're taking a look once again, as you mentioned,
Oh,
at Browning,
Montoya's
Martin, this group that have penalties, and right now the gap is really starting to close. 2.7 seconds between Rashaw and Crawford. Browning isn't able to get by into turn number 27. Lindblad was getting close to Mini, who's lost the DRS to Dunn, so there could be an opportunity further back, but they are in the same shot.
Montoya is out of the race. He's come into the pit lane and retired. Sebastian Montoya is out. Now we see Luke Browning closing down on Jose Briamati into the break zone for turn 1. Meantime, further back, Lindblad's going round the outside of Gabriel Mini. Mini locks up the rear, slides into 1. Lindblad gives him enough space, but has the move done at exit. Mini tries to come back, can't get through. John Dunn, really.
Wow, absolutely. Lindblad able to get by. Phenomenal stuff. Just ahead of Mini, and he's been stuck behind for so long, so it's so critical. Look at the gap between Rashaw and Crawford now.
It's 1.972. I just looked and it stood at 2.5. It's dropped by 0.6 in the first sector alone. We're riding with now Jack Crawford looking back to Richard Rashaw, who is visibly closing now on the net race leader. Boganovic and Esterson are yet to stop in this race, remember, as it's now lap 26 and 28. They're going to have to come in soon.
Absolutely, 1.6 seconds, 6/10 away from getting the DRS. It could come down to the last lap. If it comes down to the last lap, then it could also mean it could be a run to the line. Like we saw in the F1 Academy race yesterday, it's going to be super tight. Rashaw will be gaining with every corner that we go around this circuit. The traction zone that comes with it as well, and that means he's got a better run on every single straight. He'll be getting a distant toe now at this stage as well. So this is a big opportunity. 1.5 seconds. He's really going to be closing in.
Boganovic into the pit lane. Esterson, I believe, has continued on. He's not yet flashed through. Richard Rashaw is coming across that line and has set a new fastest lap. It's a 1:45.845. Crawford's last lap time, a 1:47.064. He is 1.2 seconds a lap faster, and he's now on the back of him. Esterson leads, Crawford second, Rashaw third. Esterson yet to stop, and now Rashaw has joined battle with Crawford in the middle sector. It's going to happen on this lap. It's game on, and this is a fantastic charge for the man who's won here twice before, and twice it has been taken away from him. Now it's glory he seeks in the feature.
Absolutely, 8/10. He's going to be inside the 1 second. This is going to be a phenomenal ending to this race. Esterson still needs to box, so it's Crawford versus Rashaw to win this. Will it be Crawford, who's done well in this entire race, to dominate? The only part where it was slightly in doubt was when Victor Martins was battling with him. He was able to make the move, he was able to push up the road, but now he's the man on the defensive because Rashaw's closed in, and he'll have a huge chance this lap, or it could go down to the 20th and final lap.
5 races we've had so far this year, not counting, of course, that cancelled feature in Australia, but it will be 5 different winners. Who says Formula 2 is boring and predictable? As Crawford, he's locked up on the inside, he's gone too deep, he's made the mistake, and that's going to allow Richard Rashaw with the DRS. Is he going to play chicken, or can he just risk it? He's got much more fresher tyres, down towards turn 27 now. Crawford's going to the inside line to go defensive. He knows it's coming, and Rashaw can literally just line him up, hook, line and sinker. This is going to be so easy to get the biggest bullseye down towards to start the final lap. Crawford will lead it, but is it going to be Rashaw to the outside line down towards turn 1? Crawford's squeezing him up. He cuts in behind, goes to the inside defensive. Richard Rashaw breaks into turn 1 as the race leader on the last lap. Wow!
Brilliant stuff. Richard Rashaw, a nice and simple overtake to take the lead. Crawford tried everything that he could into turn 1 to try and be later on the brakes, but when you've got Rashaw's tyres, there was absolutely nothing he could do. He didn't have the grip to be so much later on the brakes, and Rashaw was so much more deeper into the corner, but he could manage that due to the tyres he had. A nice and easy overtake to take the lead. The traction that he had on 27 meant that Crawford couldn't do much, and now Rashaw is going to get redemption after being denied here 2 times, and it's going to mean he's also going to move up all the way to the top of the Drivers' Championship.
There was a 3-way battle for the final points paying position between Maney, Durskin and Stanek. Maney and Stanek were side by side. Durskin's managed to get himself in the middle of those two into 11th. Stanek's dropped from 10th to 12th. And Goethe with a 5-second time penalty now for a virtual safety car infringement. He's 13th, he's just behind that battle, but Dune's also got a penalty, so that's going to put Dunskin into the points paying positions, but Stanet's going to miss out. Here is Richard Rashaw though, who has only spent 3 laps on these tyres, but it is the most important 3 laps. This is going to mean so much to him, Omi. Finally, he's effectively done the double here this weekend, but this is his first that's going to count, and it's been a brilliant one.
Here we go, final corner coming up.
Into the last corner. He's won here twice before in the sprints. They've had no lasting effects. Sprinting memories go back. Feature front and centre. Richard Rashaw wins a classic in Saudi Arabia. That's how you do a pit stop strategy. And that, for MP, is their best win in years. Crawford second, Martins in third, Forlaroli out of then we get Jose Maria Marti, Browning, Limbard, Dune in 8th, Mini and Maney in 10th, Dunskin, Stanak, Goethe, but Bogdanovic goes to 13th, so Dune did keep 8th place in the end, with Mini falling so far back. Richard Rashaw wins in F2. Wow!
Incredible, and it means so much after being denied in 2024, and also 24 hours ago as well, and to finally be able to get the moment, to finally be able to call himself a winner, and hopefully this time it's for Keats. Crawford also drove very well. It was side by side to the line between Mini and Maney that was super tight further back. An absolutely extraordinary box office Formula 2 race that went down to the last lap, and what a season it's been so far. We've had 2 races that have been that have had leaders change on the last lap.
Let's head down to the world feed then, and myself and Omi back with you for the podium ceremony.
But it wasn't enough to hold off Rashaw today. He'll be very happy with that one. Good points for Martins, good points for Forlaroli, good points for Marti as well. But a brilliant race for the leading position, wasn't it? Sealed on the final lap.
First points in a race for Dams Lucas Oil as well. Jack Crawford, well done to him and Peter.
Yeah, Jack, good point for all this one. Yeah, very good point to take. Yeah, good days, but if I say it one lap longer, like I said, we would have won this race. It's the same. It's the same.
Well,
yeah,
it's one of those days, I think, where you just have to say, I delivered the car that was underneath me to the position where it should have been. Someone else has just picked something up by the scruff of the neck, and there's really nothing else I could have done about that. It was a great drive from Crawford. Good stuff from Victor Martins as well. Great defence when he came out of the pit lane. Valiant stuff for the Williams connected driver. And he finds his way to 6th place in the championship now with those points. So he'll be very happy with that, keeping him well in the hunt. Campos still leading the team standings, but MP closing up significantly after that result.
yes, they do. And Crawford up to P8 in the championship as well. Well done to Victor Martins. It was a solid performance from him. Held off Leo Fornaroli. They were actually only split by 0.7 of a second over the line. It was very close at the end.
Yeah, I pushed my heart out, mate. It was non-stop worries. I did the best I could. So, thank you. Take your time.
Nothing to be ashamed about there from Jack Crawford.
It was just strategy from Vershaw, and he was finding time where none of the others could on the medium tyres at the start. And do you think there was a part of it when he was denied victory yesterday that almost inspired a performance in him today?
Certainly so. I mean, they are all going as fast as they can all the time. But I think when you drive maybe a little bit angry, you're out there to make a point, and a point has been made today. A normally calm, cool character, Richard Vershaw, very mature head on his shoulders, but showing us a little bit of fire out there today as they formation fly look into the top 3 positions. That was very neatly done.
Richard Vershaw showed his experience today, he showed his class, and he will get on to the top step of the podium here at Jeddah this weekend, and he puts himself at the top of the championship standings. Richard Vershaw, huge congratulations to him. That was a classy performance from a very experienced driver in Formula 2 who used all of that today to outsmart his competitors and get himself to the top step of the podium. And simply, he was unstoppable out front on the alternative strategy. Jack Crawford drove his heart out in second place, but he'll have to settle for that and big points for Downs Lucas Oil, and they can use that as confidence moving forward. And the Williams back driver, Victor Martins, good points in the bag for him and a first podium of the season.
Yeah, great stuff. Fornaroli, that battle that we followed all the way through the race, finished 5th, 6th and 7th for the various contenders, just behind this little gaggle, so that was great to watch.
It was great all the way through, wasn't it? A really entertaining race, and always great to see a battle decided on the last lap of the race, and that's what it came down to. Jack Crawford in the end passed when Richard Vershaw chased him down, got the DRS down the start finish straight, and Jack Crawford settling for second, but that'll give him confidence going forward in this championship, Alex.
It will do, and a year that he will be looking to take home championship honours.
It will, and let's hear what our winner has to say. Richard Vershaw is speaking with Billy Munger.
Richard Vershaw, your 5th win in Formula 2, and you don't always do it the easy way this weekend, do you? Yesterday picking up the penalty after winning on the road, and today the alternate strategy resulting in your 5th victory in Formula 2. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling amazing. It really feels like redemption. Yesterday I think we drove a very good race, hard-fought battles, but unfortunately a penalty, because of that it didn't happen. But so happy with today. We were absolutely flying, and I have to give credits to the team. They gave me a very good car, and I'm extremely proud of them and myself.
And MP Motorsports is a team that you have a lot of history with. How important was it, to get back together, to reset going into today's race after the disappointment of yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, we are feeling very well and strong together, so I think that helps. It shows today that we are bouncing back strong, and we're looking to do that for the rest of the season.
And you've taken the championship lead with that result, so that must be really good for the confidence and boost you for the rest of the season coming forward.
It's nice, but it's long, so let's keep pushing.
Good luck for the rest of the season, mate. Congratulations.
Well done, Richard Vershaw, in the points every race so far this season, showing good confidence and great consistency, and championship lead of the Jeddah, he'll take that.
He knows well how long the series is. Only 3 races in to this 3 rounds in to this 14-round season. He's got a lot more winning still to do if he wants to take home the position that he finds himself in now. 53 points for Richard Vershaw. Pepe Marti up next in the championship standings after that one at 41. Fornaroli just behind with 40 points. And they'll have to keep on pushing all the season long. Next time out will be Imola. What a different circuit that is from what we've just seen. Let's hear them in the cool down.
Was close, Mike, in turn 1. The weight touch a little bit. It was good. It was good racing.
I think I did 28 quali laps.
Saying once they told me your lap time, it was.
You were pushing? All in, huh?
Yeah. Me too. I was doing like 47.4 and they said it wasn't enough. So at the end, I was doing 47.0 the last 4 laps. Just.
Oh, okay. This one could have.
I really have to pee.
I thought it was Browning behind me, but it was you.
Huh?
It was you. You have the same car now.
It's a bit tricky because at one point they were 2-3 behind me.
Ah, yeah?
I didn't know which one it was sometimes.
Well done to the top 3. Good to hear their thoughts, and a tough feature race around here. Hot conditions out there and very demanding circuit. So good effort by all of them.
Yeah, air temperature dropping throughout the race. We're about 5:30 now, local time, but it still sits just under 30 degrees. Intense conditions for these drivers to be pulling the kind of G they are through all 27 corners over a feature race distance. No power steering course available to drivers in Formula 2. All the energy going through the steering rack needing to come from the driver, and you can see that they've worked out there, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And Richard Verschoor making his way up to the podium along with the rest of the top 3. Bruno Michel, I'm sure, enjoyed watching that one. Great race of 2 different strategies playing out as well, Alex, and always good to see when those 2 meet at the end.
Sure was. Bruno Michel checking in with Sebastian Philippe, team principal at ART, with a man on the podium, of course, in the shape of Victor Martins. Good day for them. And let's see him wander up onto that 3rd step.
And here comes his driver, Victor Martins, onto the podium. His season well and truly getting started now. That's his first podium of the season. Jack Crawford getting Dams Lucas Oil up there for the first time. Aston Martin back driver as well. Big season for Jack Crawford. And Richard Verschoor taking his first win of the season, his 5th career win in Formula 2. Felipe Drogovic won the feature race here in 2022. What can Richard Verschoor do this season?
What a cracking race we've had here in the feature. As the podium presentations begin, let's get the final thoughts of our team. Omi, starting with you, what do you make of it all?
An absolutely brilliant Formula 2 feature race. Congratulations to Verschoor, fully deserved after what he's gone through around this circuit. A brilliant strategy, but also fair play to the Martin Academy driver Jack Crawford as well. And well, it's crazy to think that the next Formula 2 round will be 1 week before the Indy 500.
Yeah, that's crazy, that one. Okay, Jess, what about you?
What a stellar race, and it was an interesting fight for the win as well. For sure, absolutely fantastic. Please, let's hope he keeps it, because he deserves it with the strategy that he put in. And it's a double Dutch winner at the moment. Can we make it triple with Max Verstappen later?
Oh, time will tell if Max can do it from pole position. We're going to see that. But now with non-alcoholic champagne, it's champagne time! Doesn't really spray the same in these type of countries, but it is still all around, still something. What a race, what an atmosphere. My thanks to Jess, my thanks to Romy. We'll be back in 90 minutes time. Jess leading you through the pre-race coverage for Formula One. But from here in Saudi Arabia, we bid you a very fond farewell. With Richard Verschoor winning twice on the road, Armin Lindblad getting his first ever race win, becoming the youngest in Formula 2 history. And Richard Verschoor, finally, this one sticks, and it's the big one with a feature. We'll see you in a few weeks' time when we go racing in Imola. Take care. Bye-bye.